Permanent Ink by Max Zane on AO3. Chapter 20. For the second day in a row, it was the annoying buzz of Katsuki's phone that yanked him out of the depths of his sleep and had him groaning into an entirely too sunlit brightness of his room. He was used to waking up when it was still gray outside, but he squinted barely down at his sheets and started panting around for his phone. It became clear that it was hours later than the time he would usually wake up. No big deal considering he was still on summer break. It was just an unfortunate reminder that when left to his own devices, Katsuki would probably easily sleep until noon. Eventually, he dug out his phone and twisted tangles of his bed sheets and brought it up to his ear without once looking at the display. What? He snapped, turning onto his side and tucking his arm under his pillow, eyes drooping closed again. Ugh, he felt completely gross, skin still screeing from the activities of the day before. He was going to kill Kirishima and the others for keeping him up so late. There was a nervous tremble of laughter from the other end of the phone, and Katsuki abruptly lurched up in his sitting positions, eyes pounding, his eyes burrowing wide. Sorry, Kachan, did I wake you up? Deku! Shit. Katsuki scraped a hand through his hair, immediately following the stiff, greasy feel of it. No, He looked around, trying to get his bearings straight. Fuck, what time is it? Almost 11? Deku chuckled again, sounding probably amused this time. You still like to sleep late, huh? Katsuki scowled. Not usually, he said, a hint of pout working its way to his tone that tried to stammer out. I turned off my alarm. What the fuck? You said 11? Yeah. Son of a bitch. He shoved himself out of bed and stumbled over to the dresser, loading his phone, pinched between his ears and shoulders as he started digging around for a change of clothes. Everything okay? Fine, Katsuki grumbled. I'm supposed to meet my dad downtown. He wanted to hang out or some shit, but he had a meeting this morning. Oh, that's nice. I guess. He could hear the TV playing in the background on Deku's end. Weren't you supposed to do something with your mom today? We are, Deku said, voice slightly grabbled because he was clearly snacking on something or other while holding on a conversation at the same time. Gross, Katsuki thought fondly. She wants to take me shopping, Deku continued. She said something about my t-shirts getting too ratty. Can you believe that? Yes, Katsuki said promptly, grinning when he heard Deku make a offended sound. Kachan! Let her buy you shit if she wants, Deku. Who's to say no to that? You still let your mom take you shopping? Katsuki snorted. She wishes. I guess she won't buy you pants that are 5 sizes too big. Oi! Katsuki complained, as Deku snickered. Asshole, they're only like 1 size up. Uh-huh. Fuck you. There was absolutely zero bite in his words. If anything, he sounded damn near affectionate. Katsuki cleared his throat and pushed out of his room to head to the bathroom. Why are you calling me, nerd? Oh, I just missed you, Deku said, somewhat sheepishly. Katsuki flipped the lights on in the bathroom just in time to see his entire face turn voluptuous levels of red in the mirror above the sink. So that was just great. Fuck. Did he always look this stupid when he blushed? He couldn't even get a reply out, just made some kind of shitty croak noise before Deku was throwing the next thing at him. Also, my mom wanted to have your family over for dinner tonight. That brought Katsuki up short. He dropped the pile of clothes on the counter, mouth tugging into a frown as he turned away from his reflection. Why? I don't really know. Katsuki could imagine him shrugging on the other end, the bottom lip caught between his teeth. I was just talking about our hike when we were having breakfast. Maybe I overdid it? I don't know, she just suddenly told me to invite you over. There was silence between them for a moment, and then Deku added hesitantly, Is that okay? Probably. Katsuki has hesitantly a guess. Yes, Fuck, Deku. He huffed out a breath, squeezing his eyes shut for a moment before blurting out. I told my parents. You. Really? He sounded a little surprised. Katsuki exhaled harshly and rubbed his hands over his nose. Yeah, I did. I guess I didn't think I was going to, but then I wanted to, he finished lamely. Kachan, that's great, Deku said, voice soft but earnest. Did they, were they okay? Of course, Deku, they fucking love you. Katsuki rolled his eyes a bit. They're beyond fucking thrilled. I had to stop my mom from calling yours to yell about it. A beat passed, and then Deku let out a faint laugh. I'm going to tell my mom soon. I promise, Kachan. Do it whenever you're ready, Deku. I want her to know. Katsuki drummed his finger absently on the sink counter for a moment. If you want, I can, you know, do it with you or whatever. Kachan. It probably wouldn't help any, Katsuki said in a rush. Fuck, I'd probably make things worse. But I'm just saying, if you want. You wouldn't make anything worse, Deku murmured. It's just the timing. I want to tell her before we leave tomorrow. Shit, I should probably tell her before your parents come over. Don't worry about them. I'll tell them to keep their mouths shut. A vision of what the dinner could be like if everyone knew and they were allowed to talk about it and ask questions and fawn over him and Deku abruptly filled his mind. Katsuki grimaced. It's probably better if they can't gang up on us tonight anyways. What time you want us there? Around 6. Does that give you enough time to talk with your dad? Yeah, sure. Plenty. Okay, I'll let you go then. See you tonight. Wait, Deku. Katsuki cut quickly. Yeah? Katsuki fathomed because he didn't have anything he wanted to say. He just very suddenly didn't want to be done talking to the other boy, which was stupid as fuck since they were going to see each other in a few hours. Apparently, but hell, he couldn't even remember the last time he talked to Deku over the phone. It was such a simple thing, but the entire conversation could have just easily been done through text. Deku had called him instead, though. He wanted to talk to him because he missed him. Katsuki ducked his head, grinning to himself. Kachan? Shit. Right. Never mind, he said. It's nothing. He didn't want to say goodbye! Mitsuki said loudly from out of fucking nowhere, leaning in through the open door that Katsuki hadn't gotten around to closing yet. He jumped straight out of his own skin and yelped. Mom! He hissed, spinning around with a glare that could have melted the flesh off of any other person's face. What the fuck? Get out of here! Mitsuki just cackled. What? She crowed. You think I don't recognize the stalling tactic? Would you just shut the fuck up? Katsuki said wildly, voice kicking from a couple notches higher than ever necessary. Holy shit. Were you fucking eavesdropping? Damn nosy hag. I was coming up to make sure you were alive, Mitsuki said, with a shrug that was so fucking unconcerned it was actually infuriating. Not my fault you didn't hear me on the stairs. Okay, well, I'm alive. Fucking wide awake, so can you leave now? Did Izuku call and wake you up? Katsuki had almost fucking forgotten he was still clutching his phone to his ear, and the realization that had just been screaming into his argument with his mom was not a welcoming one. Fuck. He groaned as Mitsuki bent closer and raised her voice again. Thank you for keeping my delinquent son on his schedule, Izuku. For fuck's sakes. Katsuki grumbled, as Deku laughed a tad awkwardly. Happy to help, he said easily enough, sounding amused. And Katsuki was just going to have to murder everyone today, apparently. Kachan, ask her about tonight. Ugh. Katsuki gave his mom a long side glow, trying to keep his phone angled away from her. Deku said his mom wants to have us over for dinner around 6. Mitsuki blinked, a more serious expression falling over her features. Does she? She still doesn't know, Katsuki interrupted. So you and Dad gotta shut the fuck up about everything. Watch your damn mouth, brat, Mitsuki said, and at the same time, Deku chowed through the phone. Kachan, don't talk to your mother like that. For fuck's sakes. See if he ever tried to keep talking to Deku for an extended amount of time ever again. Oh, I like him, Mitsuki said, smiling wide, evident close enough to hear Deku's tiny voice coming through. Of course, Izuku. We'd love to join you and Inko for dinner. Maybe Katsuki would even learn to manage to take a shower by then. I'm fucking trying, Katsuki shouted, shouting at his mom's shoulder until she finally backed out of the bathroom. She was laughing all over again. Katsuki fought very hard not to let an explosion off her face. Deku, I'll see you later. Okay. Katsuki ended the call before Deku could even get a full word out and shot his mother another look. What the hell was that? Oh, calm down, Mitsuki said, waving him off. Welcome to dating as a teenager. It's in the rules that your parents gotta tease you a bit. The fuck it is. Mitsuki reached out to grasp his chin, giving a slight shake. You live in the dorms most of the time, so I have to get my kicks in now, kid. Katsuki gave her a huffy sort of glare. You're the worst. Yeah, I know. Mitsuki let go of his chin and gave him a quick pat on the back instead. Now hurry up, your dad's waiting. If you leave me alone already. He tried to shut the door on her, but Mitsuki reached out suddenly, snatching his wrist and yanking up the phone, still in the grasp so she could peer at it. Oi, what the hell? Oh my god, look at you two. You're actually cute. Oh shit. Heat flooded Katsuki's cheeks again as a reminder of what his new background was, and he couldn't stop himself from sputtering, trying to tug his free hand. Unfortunate for him, Mitsuki's fingers were somehow like iron clamps. I mean, I knew Deku was cute, she continued, blatantly, straight up ignoring Katsuki's struggles. But I'm not even sure I've seen your face look like that. Mom! Katsuki managed to get out, his voice strained and taking on a frank, embarrassed edge. Mitsuki pulled her gaze away from the phone to look at him instead, eyes widening a bit. Oh, for God's sakes, she murmured, loosening her hold so that Katsuki could jerk his free hand and hide his phone from behind his back like an idiot. His mom didn't let him duck away entirely, though, instead reaching out to cup his face and draw him in closer so she could smack a kiss to his forehead. Which, of course, just made Katsuki sputter even more. The fuck? I'm being real here, Katsuki, Mitsuki said. You look good together. Just let me be happy for you, okay? Your dad and I were allowed to be excited about this. Something tightened in Katsuki's chest, his breath going the slightest bit shallow as his eyes darted back and forth between his mom, and he didn't try to pull away from her this time, just swallowed and after a moment let his gaze drift so that he was staring at the wall instead. You're so damn lame, he murmured. You can be excited too, you know. I Katsuki went quiet, struggling with himself, trying to think of how to respond to that, if he even wanted to say anything. He knew he could be excited or whatever, and he was, almost pathetically so. It was just, it's easy when it's just the two of us. He eventually managed out, easier than I thought it would be, anyways. I turned into a fucking sap around him. I don't care. Mitsuki snorted softly. You really are my kid. Like anyone doubted that, Katsuki said. I'm your fucking copy. And that's a bad thing. Mitsuki moved a hand up to tug at his locks of hair. You're welcome for your shockingly good looks, by the way. Katsuki rolled his eyes, darting for another moment before he plodded on, words spilling out of him in rapidly increasing pace. I feel like I can't really relax into shit with him completely until his mom knows. She's the last hurdle and the only one that really fucking matters. I can deal with my shitty extras in class giving me crap about how much I suck, but if she ends up being pissed about all of this, then I don't know what I'm. Whoa, hey, wait, Mitsuki interrupted. She pressed both palms against his face again and forced him to look into her eyes. The hell are you talking about? Do I need to kill someone? You know, I was an asshole to him, Katsuki said, blowing right past her supposed threats of his classmates, as he thought he was some child who needed parents to stick up for him, as though Katsuki was the one being bullied here. People aren't stupid. They could fucking tell how much I was a dick. Mom, he definitely knows. Mitsuki made a weird kind of sound in the back of her throat, her hand sliding back down to dig at his shoulders. You're not giving Inko enough credit. Or Izuku for that matter. You think he's not going to do everything in his power to make sure his mom knows how much you've grown? Hell, do you think she still talks to me if she knew that you were just a little shit? Katsuki's gaze snapped away, his arms lifting to cross uncomfortably around his chest. The answer seemed pretty obvious to him. If she really didn't have a problem with him, it was probably because Deku hadn't run crying to her every time Katsuki pushed him over on the playground. He probably held his tongue whenever Katsuki messed up in front of him, some bizarre attempt to protect him from the wrath of every adult figure in their lives. Stupid Deku and his stupid need to be self-sacrificing dweeb all the fucking time. Mitsuki leaned to the side a little, pulling herself right back in his line of vision and waiting until Katsuki reluctantly met her eyes once more. You know I've got your back, right? If I need to talk some sense into her, I sure as fuck will. Do not do that, Katsuki said immediately. I don't need you fighting my damn battles. This isn't a battle, Mitsuki shot back in a clear exasperation. It's just you wanting your boyfriend's mom to like you. My god, Katsuki, the theoretics. I'm not! Katsuki bristled over like he was fucking an alley cat getting ready to hiss at some moral enemy. He hunched in on himself, shoulders hunching up near his chin as he scrawled at his mom. Fuck off, it's a big deal, okay? It's not as big as you're making it out to be. She finally let go of him, popping her hands to his hip instead. It's it's all gonna work out in the end, so stop fucking worrying and let yourself enjoy it. Not just when you're alone with him, but every damn minute of the day, no matter who else is there. There's not a single other person in this planet who gets a say in your relationship. Mitsuki leaned forward the tiniest bit, and Katsuki actually found himself straightening up under her stern glare. It's just you and him. That's it, okay? And Katsuki got that. At least he thought he did. He should by now. God damn it. Especially after he and Deku had forced themselves to talk through this very thing not 2 days ago. But his brain kept spiraling off into the worst case scenarios, and okay, fine. So maybe he was actually a little terrified of how Inko was going to take the whole thing. He didn't want Deku to be put in that position. For once in his life, he wasn't looking forward to the challenge. He just wanted it to be fucking easy. He also very much wanted to punch himself in the face. Katsuki deeped in a breath and then exhaled slowly. His mom's eyebrows arched. Okay, she repeated. His words are me telling him to jump off a roof, Katsuki mumbled. And then he winced, because he hadn't actually meant to say that. At all. Shit. He wanted Deku to show his parents himself, if and when he decided he wanted to. Mitsuki was silent for a moment, watching him. Katsuki tried not to shrink under the stare as she pierced it together, and after another moment, seconds trickled by, she sighed. You said Izuku took it all right, so he's upset or not? He's not. Katsuki rubbed at the back of his neck. We talked it out. Twice. Then guess what? Katsuki paused, brows drawing down briefly before he rolled his eyes. It doesn't fucking matter what anyone else thinks, he offered, dryly, and Mitsuki grinned. I knew you weren't dumb. She reached out to grasp a door handle. Take a shower already, kid. I'll let your dad know you're leaving soon. Katsuki nodded absently and leaned back against the sink behind him as Mitsuki finally left, pulling the door shut behind her. He glanced down at his phone, turning it on so its own barely smiling face, pressed lightly against Deku's beaming one, peered up at him. 3 months. 3 months this shit had been eating away one or another. He was so ready to stop feeling like he was balancing precautiously on some damn tightrope with no safety net behind him, forced to navigate his own way through carefully measured steps. Katsuki didn't need a fucking safety net. He could fly. He also had a Deku with him, like 18 quirks who could catch him even if he fell. There was a line of notifications on top of his phone. Katsuki frowned, clicking on the little envelope symbol and then swiping through the ones he didn't really care about, glancing quickly at something from Kirishima and snoozing at his group chat for now, until his eyes landed on a message from Todoroki that he ignored the night before. He pulled up their threads and scowled immediately at seeing his own face reflected back at him again. There was a whole school of messages beneath it, too, Send over the course of few hours. Todoroki. Image attached. Is this what I'm going to have to deal with every day when you're here? This look? I would like to not get crushed by villains because you were too busy smitten to exist. That's my only request. Aside from that, I think it is a very nice picture. Midoriya said you had a very good day together. He shared the visual proof of how embossed you are on the group chat. Asu was very supportive, by the way. I'm not quite sure if Ida figured it out yet. Uraraka and Ashui keep sharing the picture back and forth, so I had to witness your befolderin about 14 times now. I think Midoriya has broken the record for how many times a blushing emotion can be used in one text thread. It finally ended there, but holy shit. People could stop losing their damn minds over one fucking picture anytime now, thanks. He didn't look that fucking ridiculous and ridiculous like with the nerd? Did he? Katsuki scrolled back in the image and squinted at the screen. Ugh, okay, so maybe a little. His nose crunched up as he grumbled underneath his breath, composing a reply to Icy Hot that got a response back within seconds. Not that he was surprised. The asshole apparently lived on his phone, even when he was supposedly working. Bakugo. What in the actual fuck? Todoroki. You didn't know he shared it with us? Bakugo. I know. Didn't know it would be a big deal. Todoroki. Oh, have you not actually seen it? I'll share it again. Bakugo. I've seen it. Todoroki. Image attached. Bakugo. Fucking for real? Todoroki. It's very cute. Bakugo. Die. Todoroki. No thank you. Bakugo. Actually, die. Fuck you. Todoroki. Question mark? Bakugo. I'm mad at you. Todoroki. Ah, must be a Wednesday. Dot dot dot. Dot 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 dot. Question mark. Bakugo? Question mark. Question mark, question mark. Wait, like actually? Question mark? Bakugo. Yes, fuckface. Todoroki. Oh. Why? Bakugo. You know what you did, candy cane bastard. Todoroki. That's a new one. I don't, though. Bakugo. Shitty knock-off Japanese flag. Todoroki. I genuinely can't tell if you're being serious. You never just say that you're mad. Question mark. Dot 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 dot. Bakugo? Bakugo. Did you mute me again? Hello? I'm gonna call you. Bakugo. Holy shit, I was showering. What? Do not call me. Todoroki. Are you naked texting me? Do I need to report this to Midoriya? Bakugo. What? No. Todoroki. I'm not sure what the protocols are for significant others. I don't want to be behind his back and end up caught in a compromising position. Bakugo. Dot, dot, dot. Todoroki. What? Bakugo. What? Todoroki. You should probably put some clothes on. Bakugo. I'm dressed! Fuck off! The hell is wrong with you? Todoroki. Well, you're mad at me, allegedly, so I'm distraught. Bakugo. Oh my god, you're so fucking dumb. I can't even do this. Todoroki. So, dot dot dot. Question mark? Bakugo. You kissed Deku, and now I hate you. Todoroki. Oh. Bakugo. Yeah, did you forget that? Todoroki. I did, actually. Did that happen? Did it? Bakugo. Okay, see? Now I hate you even more, asshole. Who just forgets? It's Deku. Fuck you. Todoroki. It only happened twice, I think. Those games are kind of a blur now. Bakugo. I don't What? Care. What? Todoroki. What are you whatting? Bakugo. Twice? 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 Fuck. Twice. Todoroki. Are you having a seizure? Bakugo. Shut up. I have to go, but fuck you. Double your shitty broken thermometer. Todoroki. Okay. Are we good? Question mark. Bakugo. No, you kissed my boyfriend. Todoroki. Dot dot dot. Aw. Bakugo. No, wait. Todoroki. That's adorable. Bakugo, don't. Todoroki, granted, he very much was not yours, as I said, boyfriend at the time. So I assume I'm off the hook for kissing him probably twice. It won't happen again. Bakugo, ugh, fuck you. Todoroki, since he's your boyfriend now and all. Bakugo, ugh, probably twice. I hate you so much. Todoroki, stay mad, bro. Bakugo, what the fuck? Todoroki, I got that from Kaminari, who, initially, I also kissed. Bakugo, ... Todoroki, I think only once, though? There were a lot of games early on. The others were very excited about having good dorms. Bakugo, I'm in hate with you. Just, you seriously? Todoroki, I seriously. Bakugo, god damn it. Todoroki, are you coming tomorrow? Or are we enemies now? Todoroki's, we never were enemies. But now I want to explode your fucking face even though Deku told me not to. So, we'll be there. Todoroki, great. Something to look forward to. Bakugo, fuck you quadruple times. Die, dickwad. Todoroki, see you tomorrow. Katsuki chucked his phone at his bed before he could accidentally blow the damn thing up. He was back in his room, hair damped, clamped in nothing but his boxer briefs and a red tank top as he stood there glaring a hole through the wall, hands flecked at his sides. That absolute fuck. Shitty half and half soulmate kissing jackass. But okay, so he wasn't actually pissed. Probably. Maybe. That would be pointless. But there was definitely some kind of mired irritation simmering beneath the skin that chewed at him the very specific way. A way that he didn't like putting a word to because it was just fucking stupid and embarrassing. Oh, but he was annoyed though. Standing in the middle of his room, quietly seething instead of finishing getting dressed like he was supposed to. Fuck. Shit. Okay. It didn't fucking matter. Didn't fucking matter that Todoroki had somehow managed kissing all his damn people before Katsuki had. Hell, he'd probably made out with Kirishima too, that sneaky ass face. It was fine. Katsuki was just going to have to destroy him. That's all. First, though, he had to go see his dad, and then go get to Deku's, and lay one on him because Katsuki yanked open the closet door and started fishing around for at least a baggy pair of pants that he could still wear without wanting to murder things in. In other words, nothing from Best Jeanist, as he quickly pulled them on, though in one short-sleeved button-down later, left open his tank, and he was yelling goodbye at his mom as he sprinted out the door. The last thing he needed was her giving him some kind of irritating-looking look because he actually attempted to, dress up a little. He met up with his dad for lunch at a ramen joint downtown, and they'd spent the better part of the afternoon nerding out over camping gear at the shop nearby. Katsuki regretted a bit that they hadn't had time out of the city to take a day or two to go on their own usual outdoor activities. He really needed to make plans to come home more often. It was too easy to let him slip away from him when he was at school, but his parents lived close enough that he really didn't have any excuse for not seeing them anymore. The thing was, Maru was probably his favorite person on the planet. Katsuki could admit that. His dad didn't even pester him while they were out, only briefly mentioning the dinner with Deku once they moved on, even though Katsuki was sure his mother had told him about Katsuki's near freakout earlier. It didn't come up because Mizuru knew that Katsuki would talk to him about it when he wanted to, when he was ready. Mizuru was really fucking good at getting Katsuki to accidentally open up, but between their conversation and his parents the night before and the actual Ware spilling out his guts to Mitsuki earlier, Katsuki was pretty much done with talking about important shit right now. Not to mention his numerous big conversation with Deku lately, and then he still had to face Inko that night. Fuck, he was exhausted. We should probably head back soon so we could get your mom, Mizuru said, as they finally moved away from the boating section of the store. They'd been eyeing the kayaks for a while. Katsuki was gonna have to plan something next year for his dad's birthday. A rafting trip or some shit? Maybe Deku could come with them? Deku had always loved Mizuru too. Katsuki pulled out his phone, checking the time. They had a little under 2 hours until they were due for dinner. Actually, I think I'm gonna head straight there. Mitsuru gave him a questioning look. You don't want to be too early. It's fine, Katsuki murmured. I'll see if I could help or something. He shoved his hands into his pockets, pointedly not looking at his dad, who was still carefully watching him. Kat? He said after a moment, and Katsuki wearily met his gaze. Mitsuru smiled. I'm looking forward to seeing Izuku again. It's been a long time. Katsuki hesitated for a beat and then nodded. Yeah. He'll probably be fucking ecstatic to see you too. Well, that or a ball of nerves. Katsuki turned out to head out of the store. I'll see you over there, he said with over his shoulders. I'm proud of you, son, Mitsuru yelled back, obnoxiously loud on purpose, and Katsuki scowled and barely remained from flipping him off. It was a short train ride to Deku's complex, but long enough that Katsuki had a feeling of all kinds of fucking twitchy by the time he was climbing up the steps of their apartment. He was fucking nervous. There was no way around it, and Inko didn't seem to know yet. Somehow, it felt like this was basically the one chance to show her that he was actually halfway decent now. Then maybe she wouldn't totally blow up by the time Deku finally got around to telling her. For a moment, Katsuki just stared at the door in front of him. It took an entire too long for him to tell himself to stop being a goddamn coward. Just fucking knock already. Katsuki lifted his hand. Mitsuki annoying her son is the most heartwarming and absolutely hilarious thing to see. It's very interesting seeing Bakugo's parents a bit more than we usually do. Normally in fanfics and in the show and just in general, they're overlooked and we don't really get to see them much. So I'm kind of glad that we're getting to see a lot of like the side characters that, don't normally take the spotlight in the original show or in just, I love that a lot more. I like seeing those characters. I'm very much excited for the next chapter. Very much. This is short notes because I don't really have anything to say. I'm surprisingly just silent. It also doesn't help that my voice is starting to hurt a little from recording for so long. But, as always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds, have a wonderful day or night. Join our community server, link is in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.